Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Hurdle the Line. As ever, I'm your host Fletch, and joining me as he always does, the guy who we can always count on, Tom. How are we, sir?
Very good, thank you. Yeah, glad to be on. Good to be
Yeah,
chatting to the ball, even though we still got a long time to the season. But there's always things in the works with the NFL all year
yeah.
round. So there's plenty to keep up on.
And there's plenty of sports as well. So like the MLB
March
started. Well,
Madness,
oh yeah,
MLB season started back up. See Shohei Ohtani's hitting it all over the place.
yeah. And
So
right now there's all this kicking off over this new bat that the Yankees have pulled out because of where the
mm.
where the wood is. Giggity. Someone has to pull one of them out. It's fine. But you got it. The MLB season's just started. The NBA season, we pretty much know most of the teams who are going to be in the playoffs. It's the last few games of the NBA season. Um, NHL season wrapping up. We've got the Premier League season and the F and our football's kind of reaching the end of the season.
Towards the
UFL
end.
started on Friday. So much going on. Just so much going on. Really excited as well because it's in a couple of weeks the Brit Ball season starts, which is always really
Nice.
good. So, as I did last season, I will keep shouting out. Please go watch your local club. Like we need the grassroots game to be supported in the country. And look, right, just for reference of when we record, if you listen way in the future, the Manchester Titans today announced that they've got bringing out a season ticket, 30 quid, and you get anywhere between 4 and 5 games out of it, and some added extra benefits, like 30 quid for 5 games.
Yeah, I mean that's not a lot really.
And what if you get 5 games out of it? One of them's a national semi-final. Like that's
Mm.
I don't think you really can't go wrong with stuff like that.
No.
Before we properly get going though, the normal house stuff. Any links in the bio in the any links are in the description. Relevant links from how to follow us on social media. That's AAW Network. How to follow us too on social media. That's me and Tom. All the links are in the description of the episode. And obviously, like I said, it's a long off season. There's so much going on, but it's a long
Maybe
off
you'll get
season.
invited to our NFL memes thread where me and Fletch just exchange NFL memes all day, every
Yeah.
day.
Well, speaking of NFL memes, like I say, the season's long. The off season's long. So we have a Discord channel where there is a memes channel, a Discord server with a memes channel in there, which doesn't get used enough as a Discord channel. Come and chat sports with us. There's loads of channels in there. There's loads of individual football channels, loads of individual sports channels, and other things as well to throw in there. The link's in the description. Join the Discord. Just come and chat with us, man. Like it is when the conversation gets going. It is good conversation, and it's always welcome. So, look, to get started, it's not a lot of news, and the main bit of news is our main segment. But there are a couple of little bits. Obviously, like I said, the UFL season started on Friday. That was kind of fun. I got a little bit of it in. Did you get any of it in at all? No.
I didn't, but I will. I did see a stat because I saw a meme that was Randy Moss when he had three receptions for 166 yards and three touchdowns. And then there was the guy in the UFL who had 3 yards, three carries for three touchdowns, and it was like the same sort of aura. So I saw that from the UFL.
That's
But
that.
yeah, I will have to check it out 100%. I might even watch some of the highlights.
It's worth giving a go because quite
Hmm.
a few of them did end up making NFL rosters this year and whatnot. So it's always good to see who may end up making it. And there's quite a few. I can't name a lot of them off the top of my head, but there are a few ex-NFL players in there, and someone you'd think that they were just practice squad players who bounced around, but some of them made some starts. Like I can remember one of the guys, one of the wide receivers for the Vikings, even over the last couple of years, who's made a fair few starts, and I remember him making some catches against us and things like that. So there are some players who played active NFL games who were on the rosters as well.
Yep.
Um, so there's that, and then I guess the main thing over the last couple of weeks, over the last week or so, has been the New York Giants. The New York Giants are central to what's been going on at the moment. They held the key in the QBs in the draft, didn't they? Really, we
Yep.
spoke about this a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
They signed Russell Wilson. I know, sorry, they signed Jameis Winston, and then a few days later they go and sign Russell Wilson. Couple of questions for you here on this, Tom. Right? Did you
Yes.
see either of those coming? And two, do
Mm.
you think that this now changes how they go through the draft and what their priorities are in the draft?
It's interesting because I did see this coming in terms of it felt like Russ was either going to sign back with the Steelers or go to the Giants, based on what Aaron Rodgers has done. But then Aaron Rodgers hasn't really committed either way. But the Giants gave Russ what 1 year, I think it's a 10 million or 11 million, and
Yeah.
then like in total incentives you can earn up to 21. Um, so they're giving him a good amount of money. I mean, I'd expect him to be the starter over Jameis Winston. But we'll have to see what happens in minicamp and everything. I still think it means that they are going to pick they are going to pick a quarterback though. But I don't know if it will be one of the top ones. Like I don't know if it's going to be and when I say top, it's a very top heavy draft. I mean, there's not a
Yeah.
lot of great quarterbacks in this draft, but you got Cam Ward, Shador Sanders. Um, like Jackson Dart potentially, or like there's not a lot of quality in this draft. So I wonder if they kind of skip on that and then know that next year's draft class has got Arch Manning,
Yeah.
like it's going to have a better quality of quarterbacks. So I wonder if they're just keeping Russ for this year to then be able to be probably beef up their D line or or
Yeah.
something like that, as opposed to going for quarterback when you've got a much better quarterback draft next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair point. I say the other question really within this is, well, what other options now does Aaron Rodgers have? Where can Aaron Rodgers
Mm,
go? Um, Poor guy, the UFL's just started, so he can't go there. The Canadian Football League starts in a few weeks. Maybe that's a thing for him. Um, but no, there aren't many realistic options left for Aaron Rodgers, and it seems like the Steelers is kind of the only real one there waiting for him. So it looks more than likely if Aaron Rodgers is going to go somewhere where he wants to be a starter, he doesn't want to back up to a rookie or to anyone. So he'll probably end up at the Steelers. The Steelers, look, if I'm the Steelers, and especially if a Shador Sanders starts to fall, and that means someone else starts to fall, or a couple of other positions start going, you don't know how far he may fall then. If he goes out with the QB needy teams, you don't know how far he may fall. If he ends up at 21, look, I quite like Shador Sanders. If I'm the Steelers, I'm taking him
mm,
at 21 and saying, right, you sit behind Aaron Rodgers. And I know not Shador, I know Dion came out a few weeks ago and just said, I was like, well, where do you want him to go? And he said, look, New York's a great option. I don't think if you're someone like Deion Sanders, you can shake
mm.
much of a stick at Mike Tomlin being your son's head coach because
No,
Mike
true,
Tomlin is
true.
such a great person and such a
Mm,
fantastic coach that you go and learn under and you are well disciplined and you're going to learn under Mike
yep.
Tomlin, but then also to learn as a quarterback under two-time MVP and Super Bowl winner Aaron Rodgers as a young quarterback who's going to go in to learn, I don't think you can get too many better situations than that.
No, I would agree.
Um, so that's the only real news I think that I can think of off the top of my head. If you've
The
seen
only other
any,
one that was it came out in the last like week or so, didn't it? That Stephon Diggs
oh yeah, yeah,
signed with the Patriots on a 3 year, 69 million contract, but that's really fake numbers
yeah,
because from what I've seen with the deal, there's actually a 1 year out in the contract as well, which I'm
yeah,
sure the Patriots asked for because Diggs has done this before.
yeah,
But he's coming off an ACL as well, so is he going to be, game ready week one? Probably not. But it gives another piece to for Drake May to be able to continue to develop, and he had a pretty good rookie year. Like, I mean, he wasn't, his offensive
yeah.
line didn't help him, but
Nope.
he showed great flashes, including that touchdown right at the end of the game. Was it against the Jags potentially?
Yes.
Yeah, like where there was literally like seconds left, and he was like rumbling around, throws it to the end zone, and it's caught
Yeah.
by Ramondre Stevenson, like out of. So that showed his like escapability and his ability to move on a run and throw and stuff. So
Yeah.
getting him as a is another nice piece for the Patriots.
Yeah, giving him more, giving someone like Drake May more weapons. They've added a few pieces to the O line. Mike Vrabel's in the building. It's hopefully a good thing, but it's 3 years. How many million?
69 million.
69 million. What a wonderful number of millions for Stefan Diggs. Let's hope no, it's too easy. It's like it's a layup. I'm not taking the charity. I'm not doing it. The other, like I say, the other news is kind of what's our main segment and a lot of what's coming through. In fact, no, there's not. There's one other piece of news that is AAW specific, and that is as of today, the day of release of the episode, that'd be April Fool's Day. I've got a question for you at the end of this episode, Sam, that relates to this. We are bringing on, and it relates to the New England Patriots. We are bringing on the New England Patriots UK-based podcast, the Pat's Touchback, Patriots Touchback. Very, very excited. That'd be if you have listened to Hurdle the Line for a while, you'll know Carl, you'll know DJ, hopefully. If you listen to the college football podcast, you'll know Nick. These three all work together on the Patriots Touchback podcast that goes out on a Tuesday. They do it live on YouTube. So like the live episodes and the video episodes will remain on their channel, and obviously their podcasts audio versions will be distributed onto all of the major podcasting channels as are all of the Hurdle of the Line ones and the college football UK ones. But we'll be producing them, they'll be in with us, we'll be working with them on making content for at least a year. And we're very, very, very excited about it. So expect some more Patriots stuff going on the AAW network, because that's what we all need. We all need more Patriots in our lives. Apparently, that was a thing that was a decision that was made. So yeah. Anyway, actual news for the NFL is right now is the owners' meeting. It's the spring league meeting.
Yep.
It's the coach. Is it the coach accelerator as well with it all? And it's the big one. It's the main one that everyone's at, including head coaches, GMs. The owners are obviously having their own meeting. Just a room full of billionaires, um, and loads of things are kind of going on and happening. But it's the one where the main rule changes are brought forward. They're discussed by owners. Sometimes they're tabled and said like and tabled for later. Sometimes they're voted on there and then on the day.
Yep.
A couple I've actually seen Tom Pelissero tweet out a couple of times now. There is at least one rule that's been changed over the last, I think, 10 minutes or
Oh
15
wow.
minutes, or at least it's been released so far.
Yeah.
But a couple of weeks ago, normally a couple of weeks before NFL teams start to submit the proposals that they want to change, and it's obviously it comes from the teams submit the changes, and they're the ones that get voted on and spoken about. Now, a lot of them are very little changes. It'd be like, I don't know, yeah, there's little changes. The things that we will barely notice in a game. Maybe they just help move the thing along, move the game along a little bit. Maybe it's the
Yep.
way they use chains. Maybe it's the way they use it. But some of them are rather large. Now, I want to get through some of the main ones with you, Tom, because like I said, there's a lot that get put forward, and a lot of them are going to get tabled and shelved for later because they're not very important. There are
Yep.
some decent ones. The number one thing though that comes out of it, and it always starts about this time of year now, is the global markets program that the NFL run. And for those of you who are unaware, the because NFL's teams are franchises, they are licensed by the NFL to market and use the NFL's product and all that sort of stuff. They have very specific rules on how they can market. I think if I'm right now, this is off the top of my head, and I actually mean it's off the top of my head. I'm not secretly reading it off a screen. It's within 100 miles of your home stadium. I believe I've frozen on screen. I'll come back
You
now.
have.
Should come back now. Doesn't look like I'm back yet. But you can hear me for in the
I
meantime.
can't see you.
There we
Oh,
go.
there you go. I
That
can
should be
see
better.
that.
Okay. So, yeah, just bear with you. You still hear me when that happens, so it's fine. Yeah, if you within 100 miles of your home team stadium, you can market your team. Unless there is a team within 150 miles of your home stadium, then it's 75 miles or wherever the kind of the split is for your team, like the halfway point, and obviously you can't then mark it over or whatever.
Yeah.
This has extended internationally. The NFL have had the rights to market wherever they want, so they'll kind of push whatever they want. Normally, we'll get games over here, the Jags and whoever come over and play, and they can kind of do things. But it's been one of the things that has held people back. Talking to the Patriots touchback guys, they haven't been able to get certain marketing things to happen in the UK. I don't know, Tom, if you've ever seen some of the Chiefs will run a competition on social media, and it's like just enter this, and you can win a signed helmet by Travis Kelce or
Yes.
whatever.
That's
And
it.
then they say you've got to be within the Kansas City metropolitan area to actually win
Mm.
it. That's why, because they can't ship it out to Michigan and step on the Lions' toes, or ship it out to Cleveland and
That's
step on
interesting to know. I
Browns'
didn't
toes.
actually know that.
Um, because it's a franchise, and you think like it's really low level in comparison. But if you go out and you look at you go on the street and you see a McDonald's poster on a bus stop or something, the address for the McDonald's is always the closest McDonald's to the thing, and it'll always be right by a specific McDonald's. You won't find it much further away, and that's because it's a franchise, and you can't step on the toes of the other franchises or other franchise owners of the same in the same business.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. Now, with the international home marketing agreement, it means that the NFL will grant teams the rights to market themselves in certain other countries um, freely. And that means that they can then run their own events, they can run their own anything that would be considered marketing of the team, and they can do it year round. They started it a few years ago, they're expanding it every year. That's a little bit behind it for those of you who didn't know. The expansion this year has seen a couple of other teams. A few teams have been added, brand new, only just got a market, and they are the
Yeah.
Ravens, who've been granted the United Kingdom.
Right.
The Green Bay Packers have been granted Germany, Ireland, and the United Kingdom.
Mm.
The LA Chargers have been granted rights in Greece, and the Washington Commanders have been granted rights in the United Arab Emirates. Any of those shock you a little bit before we get on to the next ones?
The United Arab Emirates, I think, is the one that comes to mind.
Yeah, well, I would generally agree with you there. Um, I'm kind of surprised that the Packers haven't had one already, and this is their
Mm.
first year with a global marketing area. Genuinely surprised, and the Ravens as well. Um,
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't had one before.
and very grateful because look, they're two of the biggest franchises in the NFL. Like, it's
Yep.
undeniable that the Green Bay Packers are one of the oldest and most historic franchises. I mean, they took the longest to come out and play an international game, so maybe it's not overly
Mm.
um, odd, but it's good to see that four brand new clubs added. Obviously, we've mentioned the United Arab Emirates, but Greece as well. They're the only two brand new markets that have come into
Mm.
play. So there are lots of countries already in play, but the only two that have just come in this year are Greece and the UAE.
I feel like the Chiefs should get Greece as well, just because of George Karlaftis. You can just sell
It
George
makes sense.
Karlaftis jerseys in Greece.
It
So
makes perfect sense. Absolutely perfect sense. Um, a few teams have had additional ones added that have already had markets, but we won't go through all of them. It is a lot. Um, I think the most important one that we need to focus on, Tom, is the UK because we've added a couple now, and Ireland as well for our brothers across the tiny pond, and the UK has we had the Bears, the Jags, the Dolphins, the Vikings, the Jets, and the 49ers. Now, someone in this call, and I'm not the one, is very excited with the new additions that the UK have got because we've got four teams who've just entered with marketing rights. So, mention the Ravens, mention the Packers. I've heard, no, sorry, there's three new teams. The other one is the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I know that
yes.
the how exciting is that? The Chiefs can now start running official Chiefs events in the UK, and just like how many of them will you be attending?
I
All
mean,
of them.
it's as many as possible. Yeah,
Um,
100%.
yeah, I mean,
If there's live like fan events, I'm definitely going to them. 100%. Yeah.
yeah, and you kind of hope. I mean, the likelihood will the most likely thing is going to be the first one they do will probably be in London,
Yes.
where but you'd like to think that they'll branch out and do something in Birmingham in the season and do something in Manchester or Newcastle or Glasgow or Edinburgh because they've got the whole UK. And
Yep.
as far as Ireland goes, they had the Jacksonville Jaguars obviously as of last year and the Pittsburgh Steelers
With
who
Ireland, is it like Ireland and Northern Ireland, or is it just
so
Ireland?
Northern Ireland is generally considered within the UK.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, the Pittsburgh Steelers specifically got because the
Dublin,
Steelers
right?
didn't
Surely it'd be like Dublin.
wait, the Steelers didn't get mainland. Well, the mainland, the actual Great British, the island of Great Britain. So the Wales, England, Scotland. They just got the island of Ireland, the Isle of Ireland. So they did get Northern Ireland as a separate entity to the
Ah,
UK, but this was last year. So they just got
yeah.
Ireland and Northern Ireland. Added in this year. I mean, well, like the Jags now they have the whole thing. The UK and Ireland they have both. I did this year the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs. So it would make sense that now the Chiefs have the whole package. England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Ireland. So,
Yeah, it would.
and actually, that's exciting. That's really nice to see. And again, look, it's the best team in the NFL right now. It's the dynasty. It's so hopefully,
They're also making an ESPN documentary about the Chiefs, a
yeah,
multi-part documentary about the dynasty.
very
So I can't
nice.
wait for that to come out whenever it does.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, definitely. Um, but really nice to see that they're expanding over here. We get the Chiefs as well, which is again, it's really nice to see the Chiefs, who've also got Spain as well. By the way, add that one in there. They've got Spain. So
Nice.
listen, they're dominating this little part of Europe.
Yes.
Portugal and France next, but hopefully we do get to see Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Big Red, etc. turn up. And I look forward to seeing the selfies of you and Travis Kelce. What's it called with the beer when the is that bit in? I don't know what it's
What,
actually called. I can't
what,
remember.
chugging it?
Is it just chugging?
Like, depends what you thinking.
So I would always imagine chugging a beer is just drinking a beer really fast, like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But they do that specific thing with it where because you've got the can sat on the side and whatnot. I'm gonna get well,
Oh, is that when you like split the into the can and then
yeah,
you
yeah,
drink
yeah.
it like straight from the? I still think that's called chugging a beer. Yeah,
Is
it's
it just
called
called
chugging a
chugging?
beer.
Right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
apologize to anyone who's the one person who's sat there going chugging. Um, yeah. Other countries have added multiple. The one thing I want to get little challenge I'll give you here, Tom. Written them down, written them down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Three teams are without an international market. Three teams left that don't have one. Can you guess which three teams are left? I'll give you
Mm.
five guesses.
Bengals.
Bengals are one of them, yeah. Two more.
Um. Uh. Is it? Are we talking AFC or NFC?
All AFC.
Oh, AFC. Okay. What about the Indianapolis Colts?
The Colts have them. They have
Is it
uh
Germany?
where they gone? Where they gone? They have Austria, Germany, and Switzerland.
For some reason, I knew it was Germany.
Nope.
Okay, so not them. So we got the Bengals,
Two,
the the
two left. Three
Titans.
guesses. Titans. Titans are one of them as well. Yeah.
Okay, and
One,
then
two.
so that's
One more
two. No,
left.
there's one more left in
Two
the
guesses.
AFC. The no, no, because they won't be because well, maybe the Dolphins.
The Dolphins have got. I remember we've already mentioned they've got the UK.
Okay.
But the Dolphins have also got Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Mexico, Spain, and the UK. Makes a
Jets.
lot of sense for someone like the Dolphins to have South American teams. Jets
Jet.
have they have a few. They have Ireland in the UK. I'm gonna give you one more guess.
One more guess. Okay. And we already know, we already established that the Steelers and the Ravens got
Yeah.
ones these times, so it's not it's in the AFC. Um, it's not no, because they got Germany. I know that. Trying to go through the divisions. Not the is it? It's not the Texans, is it?
It's not. The Texans do have one. They have. Oh, where's it gone? Where they gone? There they are. They have Mexico.
Ah, okay.
Again, makes a
Yeah,
lot of sense.
you'll have to tell me the
So
third
the only
one.
say the only one left is the Buffalo Bills.
Ah, the
Now
Bills.
you
Oh,
would
wow.
think
Yeah,
if
I would have thought
it was
they would have had
smart,
one.
they would have at
Yeah.
least had Canada.
Mm.
Because you trip over in Buffalo and you're in Canada.
Yeah,
It
literally.
may,
Yeah.
same with Detroit. You trip over and you're in Canada. They're that close. So it makes doesn't make a lot of sense. Why they're not.
No.
Canada does have, and one of them will. One of these is not like the other. Canada has the Lions, the
Mm.
Vikings, the Seahawks. All make sense. All of them right on there with Canada and the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, that's pretty random.
You could have had the Bills and you went with the Cardinals. I just don't. It don't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Does not make sense. Um,
Especially because I mean the Cardinals are literally in the desert. So like what is like hot desert got to do with like cold Canada?
exactly, exactly. But actually, with that in mind, I want to get on some of the rule changes that have been proposed. Now, we've brought a couple of them up before. I'll start with the ones that were initially brought up by the likes of Tom Pelissero. I've got them in order. So we'll go with the first one. Like I say, teams will suggest these rules. Detroit Lions have suggested to amend Rule 8, Section 4 to eliminate an automatic first down as a penalty imposed for defensive holding an illegal contract. What do you think? Without mentioning Terry and Arnold, what do you think?
I don't think it's gonna pass, if I'm totally honest. I don't have a lot of confidence in it passing. But I understand why the Lions put it in because they don't want their secondary to get as burnt.
Right. By the way, I've just had a bit of information. It's called shotgun in a bay.
Oh, shotgunning, that's
Shotgun
what
in
it
a
is.
bay. Well,
Yeah,
that's it.
it is.
Thank Mrs. Fletch, by the way. You can overhear the
There you
question
go.
and,
Very,
and
very
read it
well
out.
done, Miss Fletch.
Um, I don't like. I genuinely, like, as a whole, I don't like defensive holding going for a first down, automatic first down. Um, I think it's meant to be. Does it give what the idea is? I think what the plan's gonna be. Penalty for illegal cut block, loss of 15 yards, and an automatic first down for an illegal cut block. Um, but the right, okay, penalty for holding by the defense, loss of 5 yards. So currently it's a loss of 5 yards and an automatic first down. It would be loss of five, just a loss of 5 yards.
Just a loss of 5 yards.
Um, and I think that, like I said, that's the one where it's like, look, please get chippy when
Mm.
it's you've got like run you through a scenario, right? You've got about a minute left on the clock. You're on you're you're on defense. Your opponent's got to about your 40-yard line.
Yeah.
You hit him with a sack on the first one, cause him to use a timeout. Timeouts and however many left are not overly important. Hit him with a sack for 10 yards. Take him to the 50.
Okay.
Maybe don't mean to be that far. Take him to the 47. So if you jump it back, take him to the 47, you're talking what, about 7 yards for a snap.
Yeah.
That'd take you to 40, your own 46, be 54. It's like, so you're in the 60-yard plus range for a
You
field goal.
frozen again, Fletch.
Can you still hear me though?
Yeah.
Okay, so take you to like 60. Anyway, you're in like the 60 yard range for field goals. Um, so then hit him with an incompletion. Clock stops. Those plays get chippy. It's third and
Mm.
12. It's third and 15, and
Yeah.
you're not in field goal range and all that sort of stuff unless you're somehow Justin Tucker and you can hit that 64-yard field goal now. Um, Plays happen and lots of things are going on. That defensive holding completely changes everything once it's an automatic first down. Now you've got the whole look, just don't grab hold of the guy. I mean
Mm.
that is a thing, but I don't know, the loss of 5 yards. I don't know about like I said, I don't know about the loss. It's the automatic first down. I don't like it. I just don't. I like the rule change. So what's this? Rule 12, Section 1, Article 5. The quarterback leaves the pocket area with the ball in his possession. The restrictions on illegal contact and illegal cut block both end, but the restriction on defensive holding. Okay, I did extra uh, to the actual rule that it is. The effect would be prohibits an offensive player from. Nope, we'll get onto that one in a second. That's the exciting. That's the one I think we want to get onto. Um, the tush push, the brotherly shove,
Yes.
the oh shit, sugar. The Philadelphia Eagle, sorry, try again. The Green Bay Packers amend Rule 12, Section 1 to prohibit an offensive player from pushing a teammate who was lined up directly behind the snapper and receives the snap immediately at the snap. Green Bay had proposed it essentially to eliminate the tush push.
Yes.
What are we saying here, Tom? We've spoke about it a
I
few.
think
I
they're
know
doing
it's
it
been brought
because
up a
they're a
few
bunch of
times, but
crybabies, because they couldn't stop it, you know. Because if it was a case of it was just the Eagles able to run this play, then potentially, but there's other players, there's other teams who have also been able to use the tush push, maybe not as effectively as the Eagles, but they've still been able to use it. Um, so if it was just the Eagles being able to do it, then you'd be like maybe because that might be an unfair advantage. But there's other teams that have been able to do it. It's just the Eagles have the personnel to be able to do it better than anyone else. And the argument is for the injury and all that stuff, but there's no one that's really actually got injured on the play. It might be a boring play on the goal line. I agree with that. I would rather not see it there. But if
yeah,
it's third and one or if it's fourth and one and you need 1 yard, go for it. I personally don't want to see it on the goal line where it's just like you get Jalen Hurts on the goal line and then you're like, it's go ahead touchdown because he's going to have the same amount of rushing touchdowns as like something ridiculous. Like he's probably going to end up with like 50 rushing touchdowns or something like that. It's crazy.
yeah,
And people are not going to realize that the rushing touchdowns he scores are from 1 yard away where he jumps over the line to score a touchdown. So I personally don't think it should be banned. I think that the Packers trying to ban it is kind of spineless anyway, because they put it out and then they put their name to it. So
yeah,
they did own up to it being them, but it's because the Eagles dominated them. So it's yeah,
yeah. So someone leaked it. And sometimes you think some things like that they get leaked in order to get public opinion first.
yeah,
And if public opinion's enough in your side, you can go, "Yep, that was our rule." If public opinion is not on your side, you shut up and then don't propose the rule, and then no one knows. Although everyone knew at the time it was pretty much going to be the Packers.
yeah,
So the change would be here. So it's Article 4, Rule 12, Section 1. Um, no, so it's to change the language
mm,
in that rule. So
yes,
Currently, it's Article 4, assisting the runner and interlocking interference. No offensive player may A. By the way, this is pre-existing. A, B, C are pre-existing, already
Okay.
in the rule book.
Yeah.
Pull a runner in any direction at any time. B. Use interlocking interference by grasping a teammate or by using his hands or arms to encircle the body of a teammate in effort to block an opponent. So I think, if I'm right, isn't that just kind of like you grab onto your team, grab onto, almost hug them basically, like
Yeah.
hold them like that, and then use them as a human shield? I think it's probably the best way to use it. C is push or throw his body against the teammate to aid him in an attempt to obstruct an opponent or to recover a loose ball. Again, ball's been fumbled. I'm not getting it, so I'm going to push you, Tom, into the ball in hopes that you get there first.
Yep.
Those things already exist in the NFL rule book. Nothing is being taken out. What they are adding is is rule D. Immediately at the snap, push or throw his body up against the teammate who was lined up directly behind the snapper and receive the snap to aid him in an attempt to gain yardage. So it is the immediate catch the ball, well, catch the snap, run into the back of you.
Yep.
So I think the idea there being, it's the tush push.
Yes.
Through and through, that's the tush push. And that's the rule that they're adding, the Packers. So the effect is it prohibits an offensive play. Again, we've said that bit. The penalty for doing it would be penalty for assisting the runner, interlocking interference or illegal use of hands, arms, or body by the offense is a loss of 10 yards. So if you tush push, you lose 10 yards.
Mm.
The reason given is for player safety and the pace of play. Pace of play is bullshit. Let's just throw that one out of the way. That means nothing. But the player safety is the interesting aspect of it. And the
And
I,
I've just destroyed their argument for player safety. So
well, yeah, I think, but like the argument is, I just want to kind of throw there. I think what is their argument? How big are offensive linemen
mm,
in pounds?
big.
Uh, like weight pounds, but obviously not British pounds. The and D linemen often, especially your tackles, bigger. Just in
Mm.
terms of weight, 10 men, 11, 12 men, just in on each other like that. All of which are somewhere between 270 and 330 pounds. Listen, I say this. You can reply to me in whatever way you want from this statement. That is a lot of meat. That
Pause.
is a lot of man meat in one
Oh,
small area.
that's an even worse pause. That is.
That's it's a lot. So I do get the idea behind player safety, but as you said, it's
I mean, the guy that literally helped the Eagles perfect it, Jason Kelsey, he came out and he said the Green Bay Packers doing this is just run because it's a football play. It's so
yeah,
people's argument that it's not a football play. It's physical play. Like
yeah.
the game is physical. Football is physical. So the fact the Eagles have an advantage with the physical play that they play, other teams have to figure out how to stop it then. Like it's you can't just ban a play just because it's so successful. Um, and he was the one who was the one underneath everyone. He was like, I didn't get injured doing it. So, the argument of the injury, I understand what you're saying. It's a lot of weight of people, but there hasn't been any serious injury with it so far. So it's clearly been effective.
I'm just saying for clarification purposes, that's not my specific argument. That's the proposed rationale behind it. So I'm just making
Mm.
the case that the Packers are making. Um, so yeah. So the other rule that I've got in front of me is that the Eagles have proposed an idea that has already that what we've all called for it at some point. The current overtime rules in the playoffs, where both teams get an opportunity to handle the ball, the Eagles have proposed a rule to make that available during the regular season. What do you think?
I personally like it the way it is because it's quite like finite in terms of if you come towards the end and then a team scores touchdown and they win the game
Yeah,
in overtime, and there's quite a lot of euphoria with that. Um, like they changed it in the playoffs, obviously because of the Chiefs Bills game in 2021, but I don't think they need to adapt the regular season because they don't have to make the regular season exactly like the playoffs. It's kind of nice that it could be a bit different. That's personally my view, though.
yeah. Um, so it is basically just that both teams must have the opportunity, even if it's a touchdown scored. Um, it's pretty much the exact same as the playoffs, except if there's no winner after 15 minutes in the additional quarter, it still ends in a tie. There is no continuous playing until someone wins because someone has to win. There will still be a tie at the end of it.
Yeah.
Um, this has been called for by it seems to split a lot of opinion, even in the playoffs as well, because you've got two sides of an argument here. One that says, well, it's only fair, and the other that says, well, just stop them from scoring, like play some
Mm,
defense. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like devil's advocate here. I like it. At least giving both teams an opportunity to offensively get hold of the ball. My only issue personally with it is you're playing certain games at like Thursday night football, for example. Everyone hates Thursday night football as it is. For Christ's sake, I might just end the game. Just let's not even have any overtime. Just end the game there and then. No one wants it. Call it a tie. Go home. Everybody just be happy. There are some games where you just like, look, halfway through the season, do you want to continue to prolong the game of
mm,
football
yeah.
longer than it needs to go on? And I'm not saying necessarily take the leaf out of soccer's book, but like a tie ain't that bad. I know there's
Mm,
only 17 games in a season in comparison to 38,
mm,
but a tie is not the end of the world. Come on, just
no.
just go home. Um, those are the three main ones that got put forward a few weeks ago. That I think did the rounds the most. The Just having a quick flick through here, there's nothing overly major. There's a couple of ideas for these are like the in-game play rules. By the
Mm,
way, there are a couple others that may come through because you've got bylaws and resolution proposals that are being put forward, but mostly it's playing rules. Um, there's a slight change to some of the kicking. Um, the instant replay's ability to advise the on-field officials on. Oh, that was a big one.
that was a big one.
Yeah, by completion committee amends Rule 15 to expand the instant replay's ability to advise the on-field officials on specific objective aspects of a play and or to address game administration issues where clear and obvious video evidence is present. So, a couple of examples of where this would be a thing. George Pickens this year had what I felt was a clear touchdown that was overruled and wasn't, but they didn't have the video assistant referee come in and make that decision. I'm pretty sure it was that case. Oh no, it was a catch that was made inbounds, but because it was obviously a touchdown is automatically reviewed by video referees anyway.
Mm,
It was clear. It was a good catch. It was in. I can't remember what game it was, but it was definitely inbounds, and it got ruled as an incomplete catch. It should have been.
mm,
And the only other example I can think of for the administration issue, and yes, I'm going to bring it up from 2 years ago. Lions, Cowboys, Dan Skipper, Taylor Decker, who reported eligible. That is an if the Lions are correct in what they say, that's an administration error.
Mm.
That is a play that he should have known who was what at what time. The incorrect message was passed on. That's administration. What do you
What
think?
about the Josh Allen fourth down Bills Chiefs AFC
Well,
Championship game
yeah, yeah,
as well? That was a factor in how the play went because it was a short, was it 4th and 1 or something?
yeah.
And then it looked as if he crossed the plane enough, but they
Um,
ruled that he was short. Um, so things like that uh, are going to be able to be viewed and be like, this is the actual correct decision.
yeah. Um, but that leads me to, I think there is one more, ever so slightly. Uh, that's somewhere. Oh, there's the doodle again. There's a nice little doodle in this one where it comes down to some kickoff stuff. Um, there are some things where it's just like, oh, we're going to move the kickoffs forward or back, or the line that you gain from a touchback forward or back a little bit. Um, the number, where is it? Uh, there is the whole what are they called? The is it the semi-automated chains, video
Yeah,
chains?
yeah, I think that's what I was referring to more with
Yeah,
in terms of it being automated, so it's not, you get the stick out and you're like, this is what a first down
yeah,
is, because there's definitely been instances over the past couple of seasons. There was one where the Steelers got a first down when they shouldn't have. It should have been short, and then the game was more effectively over. And obviously that Bills Chiefs game as well. That was a quite very pivotal play because I think the scores were pretty close as well. So who knows? The Bills might have gone down and scored a touchdown there, and then what ended up winning the game. So
yeah,
they were significant plays that were impacted by the naked eye as opposed to using the technology like they do in like tennis with like Hawkeye, that sort of stuff. So
yeah. I mean, again, we have it in soccer. We have the goal line technology. Who's to say you can't implement in at least in the chains, and then put in a very specific part of the ball throughout the whole ball. You have the right stuff or whatever, like right or in the center of the ball or whatever, and the ball just knows when it crosses those chains. That's the other thing is if you put it in one side of the ball, who's to
yep.
say that like it's on? I don't know. I have a ball there. There we go. If it's on that side of the ball, who's to say that the ball carrier is not holding it that way? So like it's the actual technology part's pointing into the chest. You still cross the plane, but it doesn't buzz because it's the wrong side of the ball that you pointed. Um, I think there would be put it in both sides of the ball, but either way. There are a couple of bylaw changes that have been suggested, and again, I'm going to throw back to a one that the Lions have brought forward, um, which caused, I'm not going to say controversy, it wasn't particularly controversial, but it did turn a few heads, where the Lions have suggested that wildcard team seeding should be based on record, not division winners for it. So the same seven teams, no matter what, the same seven teams will make it. Division winners will make it into the playoffs. They just won't get an automatic home game or higher seeding. That it will go to the team with the best records.
Yes.
Some will argue that this devalues division titles. Some will argue that look, a record should matter and record should count for something.
I mean, they should, because if you look back to last year with the Vikings, I mean they're a 14 win team and they're a
Yeah,
5 seed. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Like a team that barely gets into the playoffs, like the Buccaneers they got in on what, like the last game of the season, or even the
yeah,
Commanders who got in on the last game of the season. So those sort of teams, as much as we give the merit to the Commanders for how well they played in the playoffs,
yeah,
I still think the Vikings should have been a higher seed than those teams.
yeah,
Um, and and yeah, and even the Rams as well. The Rams kind of they what, I think they finished 10-7 maybe, or was it, yeah, was it, I think it was
yeah,
10-7, and then obviously the Vikings ended up going to LA to play them, whereas if it had been the other way around, then it would have been 3-6, meaning that the Rams would have had to travel to Minnesota to play them, and it might have been a different result. Who knows? So I think the Vikings are definitely a team that would propose that this rule makes sense.
Well, what is it? Well, you think that weekend was the game the LA Fires were happening, so the game was
Mm,
already rescheduled and moved to Arizona.
Arizona, wasn't it? Yeah.
I don't want like this is not the point that I'm making, but you eliminate changing the stadium if it's already in Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's not something you don't want to turn around and say, well, if there's we'll do it this way because if there's forest fires, we're sorted. That's not how you do it. That's just daft. But it kind of would have taken some of that out of the thing anyway.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, 100%.
if so, where's the sheet gone again? Where's the sheet gone? There we go. Um, So, okay, let me go on a couple of these first. Let's just one quick whip back.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, as an owner, Tom, congratulations. You just become the owner of the NFL's 33rd
Mm.
franchise, right? What a
Wow.
weird number to have for a league.
Yes.
But you're the 33rd. And the thing is, all of these have gone down to a 16-16 vote with all 32 other owners.
Mm.
You've walked in. It's up to
Yeah.
you now to change some of these and make some of these potentially happen.
Yes.
So we brought forward the
Yes.
Tush push. So do you vote yes or no on adapting? Let me get the actual. Let me do this properly. Let me say it properly. So are you for or against the adaptation to amending Rule 12, Section 1? Would
Against.
you Are you against it? So the tush push remains. Thank you,
Yeah.
Tom. Up next. Are you for or against amending Rule 8, Section 4 to eliminate an automatic first down as penalty imposed for defensive holding or legal contact?
I'm against it.
Against it. So it's still a automatic first down. And
Yes.
Philadelphia. So we've got Rule 3. Are you for or against amending Rule 16, Section 1 to align the postseason and regular season overtime rules by granting both teams an opportunity to possess the ball regardless of the outcome of the first possession, subject to a 15-minute overtime period in the regular season?
Against.
Against. So if we're ever wondering why the game is not evolving or going forward, it's Tom's fault. He keeps saying, no, let's not change. The final one
Mm,
that we've got right now. Oh, that was it. There's one other one, again
mm.
brought forward by Detroit that's in here. Article XVII, because I can't read Roman numerals, Section 17.1 of the Constitution and bylaws to exclude from the 90-player limit a player placed on
27.
reserve injured. That's the one. Uh, Played placed on reserve injured before or on the day of the roster reduction to 53 players unless such player is designed for return. So
Mhm.
if someone is placed on reserve injured before the reduction day, they don't count against the 53-man roster. Something like that. I'm not 100%.
Ah,
Don't
okay.
count against the 90-man roster
Yeah. Yeah.
that you're excluding from. So first one is the seeding format. Are you for or against amending Article 20, Section 20.2 of the Constitution and bylaws to amend the current playoff seeding format to allow wildcard teams to be seeded higher than division champions if the wildcard team has a better regular season record?
Yes.
You are
I'm for that.
for it. Okay, so Vikings are second seed, Eagles are third. Imagine how that changes the playoffs. Again, like you said, but also pushing the Eagles down to third.
I think the AFC it doesn't make as much of a difference, but with the NFC it does.
Um,
The Chiefs
but
still would have been the one seed, I know that. But
yeah, yeah. Which game would you have had then in the playoffs? So you would have had the Bucks had the worst record, didn't they?
yes.
So you've had Vikings Bucks, then it'd have been Eagles
Eagles
Commanders.
Rams, but in the earlier round
Yeah,
as opposed to in the divisional.
Eagles Rams, and then who's the other team? Green Bay. No, it'd have
Yeah,
been Commanders at home against Green Bay.
yeah. That might have been a fun game.
Um, that's actually not a bad little playoff seed in that.
Yeah.
I'd I'd be interested in that one. Um, and then should have played account against the. I'm not doing that thing again. Should have played account against the 90-man roster limit if they're on reserve or injured. I don't think.
I don't think so.
No, that's not the most important one there. One for us to decide on. So we have some evolution in the NFL now. Thank you. For the 33rd owner of the NFL, the 33rd NFL team owner. Congratulations on your new franchise. What's it called?
Ooh, good question. We are called the Tomanauts,
Tomanauts.
the Birmingham Tomanauts.
Birmingham Tomanauts. I like it. I like it. Um, the I do have one rule so far. Let's see if anything else has come up. So, per a source via Tom Pelissero, NFL owners have passed a resolution allowing the league to flex Sunday games to Thursday night with 21 days' notice. Just
Hmm.
one game was flexed over the past two seasons via a temporary resolution that allowed it to be with 28 days' notice. Today's vote keeps the Thursday night flex in the toolbox.
I mean, we all hate Thursday night football games for the most part, other than, Bengals Commanders last season. I think that was a Thursday night one, but it's usually Bears versus, like I don't even know. I think they have Bears Commanders, but it was when the Commanders weren't good, and that was like nine
Yeah.
seven going into the fourth quarter. So we usually don't get the best games on Thursday night. But yeah, what
Didn't we
they
have the 6-3 one on Thursday night football this year as well? There's
they were,
three
yeah,
Bills all
we
game.
probably did.
Um, let's get the Thursday night.
There was that game where the Vikings didn't score for like three and a half
Yeah,
quarters.
yeah.
That was a crazy game.
Thursday night football 2025. Um, didn't get a list of them. Thursday night football. We had no. I thought you could just get a list of Thursday night football games. Okay, there we go. So obviously we started the season with KC Baltimore, but it's not a proper Thursday night football game.
No, it's
Start of
the
the
season
season.
opener, isn't it? It was a great game though, to be fair.
Um, we did get the Bills Miami game, which was 31-10 to the Bills. The Jets Patriots, which was 24-3 to the Jets. The Cowboys Giants, 2015 to the Cowboys.
That was a
That
terrible
was the one
game.
I was thinking of. The Falcons Bucks game.
Oh, that was
That
a
was the
really
other.
good game.
Ended
Yeah.
30-36 to the Falcons. What a game that was. Um, then a week later, we got another good one.
Daryl Hodge scored the winning touchdown for the
He did.
Falcons.
He did. Um, then the Bucks, sorry, no, then the 49ers Seahawks ended 36-24.
Oh, that was a good one, yeah.
This was a good one. I remember watching this one. The Broncos Saints 33-10 is the one where Derek Carr got taken out of the game, didn't he?
Yes. Yes, that
Um,
was right.
and he was throwing hospital balls, but he got taken
Yes,
out of the game and Spencer Rattler ended up coming in.
he did.
Um, We had the Vikings at Rams, ended 20-30 to the Rams, and that was the one with the controversial face mask on Sam Darnold with a minute or so to
Yes,
go.
yes, I
Probably,
remember.
probably wouldn't have changed the result, but you never know. Resulted in a safety, that play. Um, then we had that Texans Jets game that ended 21-13 to the Jets.
Oh yeah. That was an
Um,
overcome one.
Right, correct me if I'm wrong. Was that the game Devon? That was the game where what's his name now? The Jets receiver,
Devontae
not
Adams?
Devontae Adams.
Oh,
What's his name? 'Cause that was
Garrett
Jumpman.
Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. That was Jumpman game.
Oh, was that the one where he caught it with? Oh
I'm
man,
pretty sure that was the Jumpman
damn,
catch.
that's
Um,
crazy.
then we had that elite Bengals Ravens game,
Yeah.
34-35.
Oh, that was a great game. Yeah, yeah.
Um, I what? Yeah, the
Anytime the Bengals and the Ravens play, it does seem to be like even the other game they played where it was, I think the Ravens ended up winning 40, 43, 38 or something. That one was mad.
I'm pretty sure that
The one
like
where Derek Henry ran like 50 yards on like all the way down to like the 5 yard line, and then they kicked the winning field goal, I think.
yeah. But I think that was the one, the 34-35 one where
Yeah.
they had Lamar Jackson down like 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage,
Mm,
right on the edge, and somehow Lamar Jackson pulls out of it and on
mm.
the way back launches for the touchdown. It was one of the best touchdowns I've seen thrown by, like, just because of all the running
I
about.
don't
And
think that was the Thursday night one
was
though.
that not the Thursday night one?
No, that was the other one. That was the 41-38 one. Because I remember it being in the sunshine, like when they were playing the game. That was a great game though. That was yeah. To Isaiah Likely in the end zone. He like
Yeah,
bobbles the snap, picks it up, surveys downfield, like throws Sam Hubbard like off him, and then it launches it to
yeah,
Isaiah Likely in the end zone for the touchdown. That was crazy. And they were down by 10 points at the moment in that
yeah.
moment in the fourth quarter.
Um,
Because it was
then
34-24 at that time. Then they scored the touchdown. Then it was 31-34. Then it was yeah, I think they ended up winning either way, the Bengals in a crazy game.
um, then we had the Steelers Browns, which I think was the Jameis Winston game where Jameis Winston came in.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. With all
because
the
that
snow as well.
Yes, yeah, it was.
That
It was.
one.
Um,
Yeah, with like the first two quarters were like normal field and then the rest of the game was just
why?
insane.
Um, but I'm pretty sure that was a game as well where they were like Cleveland fans were a bit too happy that Deshaun Watson wasn't starting and Deshaun and
Mm.
James Winston did the whole that is a man, should show him some respect, and then nearly started crying
He
in
said
the game.
all of this mad stuff in like even after that game, he was like, "Yeah, we're horses and we're bolting for battle." Or like
Yeah.
it's just like,
Then we had the Dolphins Green Bay, where Green Bay won 30-17. We had the 34-31 Lions Green Bay game.
oh, that was a really good game.
That was, and I think that was the one where like Aaron Jones scored three touchdowns in one, got the hat trick of touchdowns. Then you had the abysmal Rams 49ers game.
Oh, that was terrible. Yeah, but in that game, the one you're on about with the Lions Packers, not Lions Packers, no, you did
Yeah,
Lions Packers, right? Yeah. Was that the one where Jordan Love threw the interception and Kirby Joseph returned it for a touchdown, right?
yeah.
Yeah, like early on, like they were down already. Then you see the first signs of him actually coming back from the injury, and
Yeah.
he throws the duck of a ball. It gets picked off, and then Kirby Joseph runs it to the end, and then you see how big Kirby Joseph is.
Mm.
Like he's a
Um,
big man.
no, it wasn't. No, see, it was that game.
It was
Um,
that game. I thought so.
but I was thinking it's the game where Amon-Ra St. Brown turned up wearing the Green Bay Sucks hoodie, but it wasn't
Yes,
because that was at Green Bay.
yes, it
And this one
was.
was at Detroit.
This is
But
that
yeah,
right.
you had the abysmal Rams 49ers where there were six field goals all game.
Yeah, that was brutal.
And then we thought, come on, it can't get any worse than that now on Thursday night football this season. We've had the worst one. And we were kind of right because then the Broncos played the Chargers in that 27-34 game, which was nice. But then, boy, were we wrong, Tom. Boy, were we wrong when the Seahawks played the Bears and it was 6-3.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's mad.
3.
That's terrible. Whoever stayed up to watch that game, I'm sorry you wasted your sleep on that.
Thank you. Um, I appreciate your support in that one. The I'm pretty sure Boxing Day night.
Yeah.
That was the Boxing Day night one.
Oh,
Um,
was it?
so, but anyway, regard just checking the time. So, what I wanted to ask you to wrap up the episode. Obviously,
Yes.
we give you the little question at the end. Now, do you know what day today is? Day of release.
Do I know what today is?
Yeah, well, day of release. So tomorrow for us. What day is it today?
Oh, it is April Fool's.
It is. So, bit on the spot. Do you know any decent football related jokes? So for anyone going into work today, or well, work, who's thinking, I'm going to cheer everybody up this April Fool's Day?
Hmm. Don't know. I don't, trying to think. Um, have you got any?
So I've got a couple of really, really cheesy ones. And by the way, I'm not looking for anything ridiculously good there. I'm looking for something really cheesy.
Yeah,
So we've got, why did the American football coach go to the bank
I know.
to get his quarterback?
Uh,
And then, what insect should you not have on your American football team?
what?
A fumblebee.
Yeah. Okay. These sound like the
Totally,
ones you
totally
see
did
on
not
like
find that funny.
a fortune cookie.
Yeah, totally did not find that funny. Back of a penguin or something.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Back of a penguin. Perfect analogy. Anyone who's ever lived in the UK, ever eaten a penguin, knows how terrible the jokes are, and that was on the level of that.
hmm
Like
Um,
what do you call like here you go, Fletch. This is nothing to do with football, but what do you call a deer with no eyes?
Not a clue.
No idea. It's
Brilliant,
just
brilliant.
that's a perfect penguin joke.
Or why didn't the skeleton go to the party?
Why?
Because he had nobody to go with.
Oh, come on. That's
And on that note, well, everybody listening to this is rolling on the floor laughing. I think this is the best place to end it. Um, what are we hurdling today, Tom?
um heard of that league meeting? I don't
Hurdle that
know.
league meeting. We'll go for it. Don't forget, links in the description of the episode. Join the Discord. Come and talk with us. Come and follow us on socials. Follow Tom. Follow myself. And yeah, hurdle that league meeting.